Thank you for joining today's webinar. Today's topic will cover NextLabs and the ability to secure sensitive IP and trade secrets when working with remote employees and partners. The project we will be using today is codenamed Blade Runner. It's about building an electric car. The people that are involved are Jack, Marcy, Greg, and Ivan. Each have a different title and a different job within different companies, but they all need to collaborate on the building of this electric car. So Jack, the project manager, will be interfacing with Greg as an example, battery supplier, as well as Marcy, the head designer, and Ivan, who is a software developer. We will begin the demonstration by having Jack log into SkyDRM. Remember, he's the project manager. In this case, he will log in using his Active Directory credentials. Once logged into SkyDRM, he'll be presented with the main screen. You'll see that Jack had already created the Blade Runner project that we'll be using for this demonstration today. Here, Jack will take a look at the policies that he's created, and we'll look at the details for those policies once he selects the policy on the left-hand side. It'll show the policies that have been created. We'll look at the first one in the list. In this case, he's going to go in and edit, and this is the one where Greg can view general and classified documents. And he's a supplier, if you remember, so that's what he'll be able to use as far as his collaboration role. So the policy itself is set up for specific attributes as well as a company for him to be able to look at whatever documentation is available. In our bottom list, we will see that we have Jack and Marcy, who has full control, and Ivan in the center, which is not deployed yet because we're not sure if Ivan is joining the project. So here Jack and Marcy, as we can see, has full control over all documents, which are all listed. In this case, the IP classification is either general, classified, or secret, and the two companies that they both work for. In this case, if we scroll down, we can see the protected rights that are going to be set up within this policy that will be enforced for those particular users. The next thing that Jack will now do is go out and load some documents. So here you can see there's a repository. He's going to use local files, but you could also be using Box or Google Drive, as well as other repositories to get information to load up within SkyDRM and to protect. So here we have a set of documents. In this case, he's going to load up a general document. In this case, it's a Word doc. He's going to use a company-defined policy that we looked at earlier with an IP classification of general. We'll see that file has now been uploaded. The next thing he's going to do is load up a second document. In this case, just this document will show expiration. So this is just to show that if you want to put a document out there to be viewed, but only for a certain period of time, you can actually put a validation period on that. So here it normally defaults to never expire. In this case, we can pick an absolute date range. In this case, he wants to do it through May 5th. In order to show that. So it's only available for 3 days. And that now gets created and that expired document's out there. The next document that he's going to load up in this case is a PDF. So we'll show that not only can we look at Word documents, but also PDF documents. Same type of thing applies here. You pick the IP classification for that file and the policy that goes along with that will enforce access to that depending on the individual. So now we have the 3 different documents that are out here. At this point, Jack just checks to make sure that he can open the document up, and looks like he's good to go as far as being able to now go out and invite particular individuals after he's now checked out to make sure the information that he's put out there is what he wants them to see. At this point, Jack is the only member and the host of this Blade Runner project, as we mentioned earlier on. So now what Jack's going to do is go out and invite both Marcy and Greg to join this project. Once he loads their emails, he asks them to join the Blade Runner project, and you can see that they're pending and the messages are sent to both Marcy and Greg to join the Blade Runner project. we'll now go out and see that Marcy is now going to sign in to SkyDRM. Now Marcy was on a project prior to this, so in this case Marcy does not need to register as a new user within SkyDRM. She'll use her Active Directory credentials, much like we started off with at the beginning with Jack. So in this case she'll go in, view her main screen, and see that there is now a pending invitation from Jack on her SkyDRM homepage. She would also receive an email as well. So if she wasn't a registered user, she would see that. She'll still see that email, but in this case, since she's logged on to SkyDRM, she can accept the invitation from here and then just go directly to the project. Here we'll see that she is now logged in. And now our second person, in this case Greg, will also sign in. Again, Greg was another individual working on another project. So in this case, Greg also will log in using his AD credentials since he's a prior SkyDRM user, and be presented with his main screen as well, the same as Marcy did. So his home page will look similar to hers, and he also has that same invite from Jack to join the Blade Runner project. So he can just click on the accept, and then go to the project as well. So in this case, we can now see that there's 3 members of the project: the host Jack, Greg, and Marcy. So now we go back to Marcy. And in this case, Marcy wants to upload a file that she thinks that's important to the project to start with for Jack to take a look at. So in this case, she's going to use a company defined with an IP class of secret, because she only wants certain individuals that have that IP classification to be able to see that file and be able to edit and do everything with it. So in this case, we can see there's full rights based on the IP classification of secret. So this way, when the person comes in, they can actually do editing to that Word doc. Here we will see that Greg tries to look at that doc and sees he has no rights to it. In this case, he still tries to open it, and then he receives the not authorized message. So this is the power of SkyDRM and policy, where it takes those attributes and based on the individual will either allow or not allow or deny the person access to those files. So you can work in a secure fashion, collaborate between each other, but yet still make sure that only what they're allowed to see is what they're being able to view. Here we will see that now, in this particular case, Jack is asked by Marcy to put up a file for Greg to take a look at. In this case, it's a CAD drawing for the electric car itself, and Greg needs to take a look at it in order for him to be able to assess what's going to be needed. As you remember, he works for the battery supplier. So here we'll see Greg's going in. Greg will see that this was updated a moment ago and open up the file. So in this case, we've looked at PDFs and doc through the SkyDRM viewer, but you can also look at these CAD drawings as well, or these CAD designs through the SkyDRM viewer as well. So here Greg has the ability to flip it around, take a look at any angle he wants, and then can collaborate with them on where the location of these batteries are going to go within this car and how that's going to work. He can't do anything with the file. Up in the upper right hand corner, he can't download it or extract it, can't even print it. So this is really just a view only to have a conversation to decide what to do with the batteries for the electric car. And now if we go back, we can see that now Jack is going to invite Ivan. I guess it's important. Marcy sent a message off to him saying that Ivan needs to be added because she needs him to see and look at some information. So in this case, he's going to ask Ivan to join the project. Ivan's new to working with them, and you'll see there's a pending invitation out there going out to Ivan. So first we're going to see that Ivan was sent a project invitation here, as well as he can see that Marcy tried to share a file with him. So in this case, since he sent that message off, now Ivan needs to register because he's not a previously joined project within SkyDRM before. So in this case, he needs to sign up and join. It shows the two options here. So he knows in this case he needs to sign up and join since he has been on before. And we'll also see that this is using his email address as opposed to an internal Active Directory ID. So he'll go out and create an account for himself. He'll go back to his email. If he does a refresh on this, he'll now see that he has a new account activation email from SkyDRM. And now he can go down and activate the account. And now the account is activated. If he clicks on the ribbon, Ivan could now go back in and log into SkyDRM. But you'll notice, as I said, he's logging in through with his email that's been registered, not an internal Active Directory account at this point. So now Ivan sees all of the information that's been out there, recent files that have been added. And in this case, since Marcy sent him that message, he's going to go out to the MySpace section within SkyDRM for him, and he can look at the shared file. So here we will see the file that Marcy wanted to share with him, and that's why she asked Jack to add him to the project. So in this case, he has a view capability here. And now I can go out and look at that battery tray information that was Marcy asked him to take a look at. If Jack refreshes his screen, we'll see that it goes from 3 active and 1 pending to now all the users are active. So in this case, Jack sees very quickly that Ivan accepted the invitation and is now an active user within the project itself. Now if we go back to Marcy, Marcy can go back to the shared files area where she shared that file not too long ago with Ivan. And in this case, she can go out and take a look at the log. So one of the powers behind it is being able to see what happened with the file that she shared. So here she can see she protected it, she shared it, and in this case, Ivan viewed it twice, and the results were an allow on all of those. So you have an audit trail of what's gone on with a file that you've shared during your collaboration to see who's joined it. And lastly, we will show a segment here which we have SkyDRM and SkyDRM Pro that you can do from, in this case, an iPhone to log in and look at a project on your iPhone or device. So in this case, John Tyler's going to log in. Here we can see he can see his demo project. So John works on a different set of projects, and here he has his release notes that he's bringing up, but they've been watermarked in this case that he won't be able to print them as well, but he can view them online.